What's up, everybody? It's Scotty here with Flat Track Flashback, and boy, it's real quiet on the Flat Track news front these days. After the season ends, we pretty much go into hibernation, and everything's pretty dormant, and we kind of grasp at anything we can find as far as stuff to talk about. But there's a couple of newsworthy topics, and I'm also going to play Fantasy Scheduler on this episode. Just some tracks I'd like to see the series hit. Now, it's obviously very easy for me to say I'd love to have them go here and there and whatnot without having to put in any groundwork. So just take this for what it is, just a little thing I wanted to sort of, contemplate and play around with and get sort of your thoughts as viewers and fans of the sport on where you'd like to see the series go. So we'll get to that in a little bit. First things first, want to give a huge congratulations to Briar Bauman and Shayna Texter Bauman as they welcome the birth of their son here pretty recently, October 17th. We were able to get that interview with Briar out of the way just in time. So our best wishes go out to them. So thankful to see that they've got a healthy new baby boy and are back home recovering. And so wishing them all the best in this next chapter of their life. Congratulations to both Briar and Shayna. Moving into a rider who had to have off-season surgery, and that's something we kind of touched on Tank Slapping Podcast with Corey Texter, is Tom Drane, who had back surgery back home in Australia to help out with his scoliosis. And it's something Tom's been battling throughout his flat track career and been able to overcome and achieve so many accomplishments. And thankfully, Tom was in really good spirits. He did an interview with Wade Onger, which I'll link here in the video for you guys to check out. If you're not familiar with who Wade Onger is, he's a very, very popular personality in the sport of sprint car racing, especially down in Australia. And he's done commentary and play-by-play and pit reporting for a lot of stuff there in Australian sprint car racing, and has also been a figure on our Knoxville Nationals broadcast here stateside for the World of Outlaws. Wade is someone who is just a very passionate fan, absolutely loves sprint car racing. And you can see his passion for motorsports in anything he does. And while I think his opinion of American flat track racing might be a little elevated, he might think it's a little more popular than it is in its current state. Maybe he can bring some new viewers in, and we can get some more people in the stands to help get flat track up to the level that we hope that it should be at. But Tom seems to be in good spirits back home, and is going to be doing everything he can recovery wise to get ready to be at 100% come Daytona. Selfishly, I would love to see Tom pilot that 59 again, but in the Super Twins class and running a second Estenson Super Twins effort there. But he earned that number one plate, and if he wants to defend it and run it, I wouldn't blame him one bit. And for Estenson to have two number one plates on the grid next year, that would be sick for that team. So we'll just have to see. I don't know officially what Tom's trajectory looks like in 2026, but he's going to be ready to go in March. And if he's back in the singles class, it's hard to say that anybody's going to be a better threat to that championship than Tom. He's just been so good, so consistent. In the back half of the year was unreal what he was able to throw together since clicking off that first victory in the Lima Triple Challenge race. Chase Sadoff's injury sort of took the wind out of the sails there. What's Cage Tadman going to look like on another year? We just kind of don't know what anybody's doing yet. So this is pure speculation about all that, but glad to see that Tom was in good spirits following that procedure. And wish him all the best in a quick recovery. Not sure if he's going to get to be part of the North Brisbane Cup this year or do any of the Aussie Flat Track Nationals. But hopefully he can get a full recovery in and get back on the bike and plenty of time to be ready 100% for the Daytona Short Track doubleheader. Also, we got Smoke in the Hall of Fame. Smokin' Joe Kopp is a 2025 AMA Hall of Famer. And Joe, we got the privilege to watch race at his Grand National peak. And then also, hey, Joe still shows up and can mix it up in some of these amateur races. But man, just a great career for Joe Kopp. He's the 2000 AMA Grand National champion. He's picked up 21 career victories in Grand National competition, the first of which came at the Peoria TT a year after he had a pretty dramatic crash over the jump in a race where he was battling Andy Tresser for a victory there. So Joe was able to get his redemption at Peoria a year later. Throughout his career, he's picked up 16 half-mile victories, a TT, a short track, and 3-mile victories. And what's kind of impressive about that mile victory is his last at the Yavapai Downs. I hope I'm saying that right. I probably just ruined it. But he picked up that victory on a Ducati, and it's the only victory for Ducati thus far in the premier class of Grand National Flat Track Racing. So Joe's got that accolade as a feather in his cap as well. In addition to the 21 victories, he got 81 career podiums. He was a 2-time Super Tracker champion in Grand National Racing, 1999 and 2000, aboard those Suzukis. And Joe picked up 7 career victories in that class, was also a 4-time Formula USA flat track winner. If you guys remember that series, had a lot of really good competition from, I believe, 1999 through 2003, sort of that secondary touring series. competing with the Progressive U.S. Flat Track Series. And Joe was also a 4-time hot shoe flat track champion. And I missed the hot shoe series. That was so much fun to get to attend those events where you had your 2 expert classes, 750s and 505s or 600s. You had the 883s. You also had 505 and 600 Pro Sports. Amazing memories from those events, whether it was Savannah or Volusia or Frederick or Winchester. Just the flat track series, the hot shoe flat track series was so much fun to attend. And Joe was a 3-time champion in the 505 or 600 expert class, and also in 2006 was a 750 expert champion in the hot shoe series. So plenty of accolades for Smoking Joe Kopp, and congratulations, the new Hall of Famer there. So our tip of the cap to Joe, and hopefully we get to see him still race a few of these pro-am amateur events, because Joe can definitely get after it. His last podium in flat track competition came out there in Vegas, a 2nd place finish behind Briar Bauman in that indoor short track that served as the 2015 finale for the series. All right, so now here we are, the fantasy scheduling that I'll call it. None of this is official. I have no insider info. I have no clue where the series is going to go next year, other than their season opener down there in Daytona, which I'm pretty excited to get down there and attend. But just sort of, this is just me sort of playing, again, fantasy scheduler, where I would like to see the series go. And I tried to be somewhat logical in how I mapped this all out. And so I'm kind of curious as to what you guys think as fans, how you would like to see the series navigate. What do you think is the best number of rounds? What are some tracks you would like to see on the circuit? AFT put out a social post asking us fans where we'd like to see, and I went ahead and spam commented that. And so we'll see what all comes to fruition. But so how I would approach this, and we'll just start off, obviously we know where they're going to begin. In Daytona for the doubleheader down there during Daytona Bike Week. You don't start anywhere else. You're always going to be at Daytona for the short track, or they did the TT that couple of years. But I personally prefer the short track. I wouldn't hate it if it went to a single day event, maybe a hot take there, but I would start there, obviously in Daytona, and then a week later head up 95 and go to Golden Isles Speedway there in Waynesville, Georgia. It's about a 160-mile trip from Daytona up 95. And a great little track. I've seen riders test there in the past, and it is a clay car track, sort of semi-banked, about a 0.4 of a mile track there in Waynesville, Georgia. Cool grandstands. I think it could be a good option there. And then continue your little southeast swing to start the year by heading back to Sonoy. We've gotten great crowds there for the 2 night races. I know the rain delayed to Sunday was sort of a bummer for them, but I would love to see them continue their partnership there. We've seen great racing there when it's at night. I like to continue that a week later. And then you have 3 weeks and 4 races to really kick off the season. And I know we all hate downtime, but unfortunately, I felt like there was a need to put it in here to sort of make sense for the series and for these windows. So that's sort of my first part of the schedule. And then the second part, I'd like to see us kind of make our West Coast swing and start at Kennedale, Texas, which is a little quarter mile. It's heading out west. You're 30 miles from the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. It's a haul for a lot of guys, and it's going to be even more multiplied by the fact that I've got them going to California after that. But Kennedale is a cool little short track, quarter mile. Sprint cars have raced there, little paper clippy, but it's put on really good racing for the sprint car series. Again, I've seen videos of teams testing there, so that might complicate this a little bit. But yeah, it would be cool to see them hit a track there in Texas and sort of in that Dallas-Fort Worth area, but not at Texas Motor Speedway. Unfortunately, from Kennedale to Ventura Raceway, where I've kind of got everybody going, it's almost 1,500 miles in a week, and that would suck. I know that would suck. So this is probably the first flaw in my scheduling as far as the travel goes. But I've got them going to Ventura, and then I've got a kind of a crazy little idea here to do a Thursday, Saturday up in Northern California, starting at Merced Speedway, which is a little 3/8 mile car track. It's about a little over an hour south of where Lodi would be. So you can kind of put Lodi there between Merced and Silver Dollar Speedway, do a little like 3-race weekend, but then you get 3 nationals out west over a 2-week span, maybe a little extra money to help with some of those travel expenses. The Twins we've seen has not been great in California. So here I am adding around when maybe we should be considering not having as many out there, or maybe just on different tracks. But the single support this past year in California was good. The 450 class was kind of popping off out there. I think it'd be cool to get Merced there on a Thursday. You run Lodi on a Friday, and then you work your way 2 hours north up to Silver Dollar Speedway for the finale of that West Coast trip. And then I take another month off. I know it's annoying, but this is where you kind of hit your real stride, and this is where it gets pretty grueling if I was making a schedule. So I would start us at Tazewell Speedway, a high bank, 1/3 of a mile car track in Tennessee. I would do that on June 6th. And then a week later, you head about 146 miles down to the Red Mile, get back on a mile track there in Lexington, Kentucky, and bump amateur nationals up to the weekend of June 20th if you're going to keep it at DuQuoin. I've been so bummed about it, taking riders away from the Barbara Fritchie Classic, which I'm being selfish and want to keep that sort of 4th of July weekend open. 4th of July is on a Saturday this year, so that could be tricky. But have DuQuoin there. You're coming off of a mile already at the Red Mile, so hopefully not too much has to be changed on the bikes, provided nobody blows anything up, and then you're in scramble mode all week. And then from DuQuoin, you end June there in Lima. Last Saturday in June has to be at Lima. There's no other place that it can be. Then you take a week off, and we head to another cushion track, and I'd like to see the return of Harrington, Delaware. Cole Davis and I talk about this a lot. Harrington is at a casino. It's a horse track. But in July, they take off from horse racing, at least according to this year's schedule. They took off all of July for horse racing. So we could get the track prepped for bikes and then maybe do a little work afterwards to get it back in shape for the horse people so they don't have to scramble back and get it back in shape for when horse racing picks back up in August. But it's right there at a casino. It's been a historic place. It's the site of Chris Hart's lone American Flat Track Twins victory. So it'd be cool to get us back on another cushion track. You get back to back there with Lima and Harrington and Delaware. And then you come about 500 miles south to Charlotte, North Carolina in the summer, July 18th. I'd like to see us back at the dirt track at Charlotte. And I want this in the summer because you can hopefully get the big speedway to do a little co-promotion. They've got this legend car series that goes on during the summer on Tuesday nights called the Summer Shootout Series. Get people talking about it, maybe build some fan interest. If there's anybody brave enough to do a little demo maybe on the paperclip pavement track, provided you can get from Delaware to Charlotte in a couple of days, that would be cool to maybe enhance some interest there and try to get more people in the stands there at Charlotte. I don't foresee us ever packing out Charlotte, but I definitely don't love the idea of running the finale there in the fall. The weather here is just too crazy. Supercross got hit there in September with a downpour. The hurricanes we have here and that really severely impacted when they tried to have the finale here. But when it's been run in the summer, I feel like the track's been really good there in the early 2000s. And then in 15 and 16, it seemed like the fan support was a little bit better during that time as well. From Charlotte, I'd like for us to go to the dirt track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's inside of Turn 3 there in Indianapolis. And this particular date, July 24th, would be the Friday of Brickyard 400 weekend. So you've got fans already there. And I know we've kind of been pushing back and forth about co-promoting with stuff, but you've got everybody on site. You got everybody camping. The track's in the infield. Maybe you could get some people to, wander over to the dirt track there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. They've run USAC midgets and sprint cars there, but this place is tiny. It's probably just a little bit bigger than Jack Pine Gypsy. So this would be a big turnaround going from a 4/10 mile fast, basically half mile at Charlotte into the tight confines of that track there in Indy. But that weekend, I think, could be really good. At least an opportunity to try it out. And then from there, you head to Peoria Motorcycle Club, first Saturday in August, kind of as you're making your second trek out west, heading towards Sturgis Bike Week. Start there at Peoria, and then as you head out to South Dakota, I want Houston Speedway to have at least one flat track race. And they take off during Knoxville Nationals, the 360 Nationals and the 410 Nationals, which are already scheduled for next year. So August 8th, the track should not be in use. While it is about 500 miles from Peoria, it is on the way to Sturgis. Sturgis is about 300 miles further west as you head to Sturgis Bike Week for whatever they want to do out there, whether it's Jack Pine, TT, whatever they're going to do. You work your way out to Sturgis there. And then you have sort of the end of this hectic stretch from June to the beginning of August with Sturgis Bike Week. And then everybody gets about a month off to regroup before we head to Labor Day in Springfield. And then Lake Ozark seems to be the desired finale there that second weekend of September. So this was, again, none of this is an actual thing on the AFT calendar with the exception of Daytona. I also know that they announced Budds Creek there on May 16th, which would be horrendous to throw 1 week after a California swing. I know I don't have that on here. It just was that part of my wishful thinking schedule. No shade to Budds Creek. I just haven't seen anything there personally that got me super hype about it, but I'm very hopeful that event goes well. I just have only seen a little bit of like late model racing there, and we'll just have to see how that track works out. I'm just using these sort of as places that I've seen racing from and feel optimistic that they could put on really good shows for the motorcycles. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me how stupid I am for coming up with this little plan. Tell me some of the stuff that you guys would like to see in place. Again, what would you think the ideal number of rounds would be? This is 21 rounds. Shocking. I went with the number 21 for something, right? But this would be 21 rounds. It would, enhance or make the schedule a little bit longer. We do still have some windows in here that would slow maybe some of the momentum, but at least give teams a little bit of time to regroup. That summer stretch I know would be pretty grueling. And again, I can make this up and talk about it on YouTube because I don't have to do any of the footwork to actually make any of this happen. I'm not the one having to, work out the contracts and to battle the dates with the cars and everything that goes on to these tracks and work with the promoter, the local, the facility operators and everything. The true hard work that goes into the scheduling. And also, hey, I know I'm a little late to the party on this, but Wendy Schneider and Angels of Dirt, that is an incredible documentary if you haven't had a chance to watch it. I finally had the time to actually sit down and get the streaming version of it, watch it online. They've been taking this all over the world, showing it in movie theaters, at racetracks and events across the globe. And Wendy's got an option where you can watch it from home. And they supplied me with a 35% discount that's valid from now through December 1st. So that code, we'll put it up here. It's Angels35 off. You can purchase the Angels of Dirt movie and watch it from the comfort of your own home. And it helps support this cause. It helps grow this documentary and grow awareness, and it helps Wendy out, helps everybody that was involved in this film out. Trust me, it's an incredible documentary. Please, if you've got time to check out Angels of Dirt, use that promo code and spend a night watching this incredible documentary that Wendy put together. Scotty Taylor has talked about it on his podcast several times, and I just never had time to actually sit down and truly enjoy it. I didn't want it to be something that I just kind of listened to as background noise. I wanted to really sort of immerse myself in it, and I'm so glad that I did. So please, if you get a chance to check out Angels of Dirt, please do so. Once again, that discount code is Angels35 off. Gets you 35% off the purchase of that streaming version from now through December 1st. So check it out. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. It's kind of tough to find stuff to talk about here during this off season when there's not like a whole lot of news dropping, but we're going to be at Mid-Carolina. Like we said, we'll do recaps from those videos, recaps when we go to Timonium. If you guys are able to make those RPM races going on in the Midwest, or any racing that's going on out in your various regions of the United States, please support these local promoters and help them want to keep putting on flat track racing. We need to grow this sport and not shrink it. So thank you guys so much for supporting this channel and giving us a chance. And just please make sure you're supporting everybody that's building content around this, whether it's the riders, the sponsors, all the people who are doing, YouTube shows or podcasts or any sort of content related to motorsports. Let's support each other and help build this thing up rather than tear each other down in Facebook comments. Thank you guys so much for checking this out, and let's get out to the track. Let's try to find something to do to help us get a little bit of flat track in our lives here in this off season until we get some breaking news about the sport. So take care, everybody. Again, congrats, Briar and Shayna, on the birth of your son. Tom, wishing you a speedy recovery from the surgery, and congrats to Smoking Joe Cobb. He's a Hall of Famer, and what a class too. He's in there with Colin Edwards and Chad Reed, just to name a couple. Man, that's some good company. But hey, y'all take care and have a great rest of your day. Love you.